Okay, so this is my solar install. So some of these clips I actually lost, and I'll kind of point that out later, but this is me figuring out the placement. I have 3 rows um, of 14 panels. So Sky came up here once I marked where each of the rails are supposed to be, and we chalk lined them. And this is me going to town. I think I have 78 of these anchors, and these are smooth. These are awesome. The previous ones that I did, I had to cut shingles, find rafters, do all sorts of stuff. I had to find rafters with these, but if I didn't hit them exactly, I had three opportunities. So all of them were into the rafters, and even if I didn't, you just end up putting more screws in it. And I even went back because I had screws in it at the end and put 6 screws in a lot of these just to use up the screws and make sure it's secure. So this is just me going to town on these uh, racking and railing system, all 78 of them. Um, these are called deck mount or flush mount instead of under the shingles, having to do a lot of work. So it took me just a couple of days to put all these up here. And like I said, it is way faster than previous systems that I'd used. These are the rails, and they just literally, with the bolt, go right into there and secure. Really easy and straightforward. They have a little splicer in between them that connects them all together and also connects them electrically, because these are where we ground from for the whole system. I end up being a little bit short on the rails for some reason when the company that I bought these from, which is Signature Solar, they calculated the rails and the mounts, the mounting hardware. I was, I think, 6 of those short and 3 rails short, so I had to buy them from a local supplier at Platt Electrical, which wasn't a big deal. I'd rather go get a few of them there than having to order them and have them shipped. So Platt didn't charge me any shipping. I could pick them up basically the next day. So half of this is figuring it out. By the time I got done with this, I was pretty darn good at it. For those first little bit, I was always struggling to figure out what I need to do. So this is the first set of panels, and I just wanted to go up the first 3 panels. This first one's the hardest because it's could slide off the roof, but um, just making sure everything's going to fit, that my rails are in the right place, and I need to adjust them a little bit here. Um, but this wasn't too bad at all. The bottom row is going to be the hard one, and that's what I actually lose this video here coming up in just a second. Sky came out and helped me do the whole bottom row, and we knocked that out in just a couple of hours. But then I had to be crawling underneath them the whole time and getting them all wired up. These ones aren't even wired to anything because I didn't have to just yet on those. But so this is the videos I missed, and you can see if you look up there, I guess. It's hard to see with the light the way that it is, but that whole bottom row is on. And then from then on out, I really didn't need any help because then I can literally put the next panel on top of already secured panels. So I spent a lot of time up there though with the leg underneath it. This is some of the videos I lost too were them building this retaining wall, and I wanted to have this included in there. I had a whole video of them just building this, which would have been cool. But this retaining wall, I paid someone to come in and do it. Um, just I would have messed it up if I tried to do it. He pulled a bunch of my rocks out and eventually went out and buried those in a hole for me to get rid of them. Um, but I think this was money well spent. We're really happy with the way it looked and turned out. It took them a little while to do it, but um, yeah, this just gives us a lot of peace of mind. We actually have a pretty good sized driveway now, whereas before it was just a gravel pile that we could have rolled off of easily. Um, and I'm up here working on the panels during this time as well, so you'll see me come and go. But at this point in the video, I've already got the whole bottom row on and the second row, and so now I'm finishing up with the panels. I'm getting in the roof penetration to go for my wires, my DC wires through my attic, and so a lot of the time I'm in the attic trying to run these wires, and they have to be in conduit They're in flex conduit, and it's like 120 degrees in the attic all the time. So that's where I am. Most of this is in the attic, and Sky's helping me a little bit get these wires all run and into the garage. We have this nice pad back here that we're considering if we want to put something like a sports court back here. We'll kind of see. It's just money's always an issue. But they finished it up, and then I got them paid, and they got out of here. Like I said, it took them a little while, and I wish I had all that recording, but for some reason the files got corrupted somehow. So with this solar panels, I have two roof penetrations. So one that is right where I'm kind of stopped, and those I have to put under the shingles and cut some shingles a little bit. But they're really nice, and it's just barely above the solar panels. So then I got to start running the wires through there, so it kind of gets a little bit tricky as far as getting the wires. The hardest thing with these solar panels and mounting them is not the actual mounting, it's the wire management. So we got all these wires in there, and you got to try to keep them off the roof, and inevitably you can't reach under there and secure them, and so you do your best to zip tie them and do stuff. But then as soon as you lay the panel down, there's a little bit of slack to the lines, and so they're a pain in the butt. I think I did a good job. I did a better job than I did in the previous solar install, just because I was more aware of it. But nonetheless, it was a pain. I had just a little bit of PVC pipe, and I would just prop them up and put in my rapid shutdown modules and connect everything together, and I had a pretty good system down. So now I'm moving on to the next set of, well, after this one, I think moving on to the next set of roof penetration, and so they're split into two sections right down the middle, and so these ones will go quick for a second. It's about every other panel I can go fairly quick with it. I think I dropped something off the roof at that point, so had a couple things fall over time. My last one that I did in my previous house was an 812 pitch, which is the roof pitch of the deck covering, and that's not fun at all. 612 is no big deal at all. I love the pitch of this roof. I wouldn't go back to an 812 pitch if I had to. 612 is the perfect pitch, and it's the great pitch for solar as well, to get the right angle for the solar. So this happens to be my brother and sister-in-law's anniversary, and they came to check out stuff, and so I included them in there. Happy anniversary, Brooke and Sean. And so this should be the last little bit. I have another video that I'm going to post as well of kind of the inside stuff, the inverter and everything else walkthrough. So I'll post that right after this. But this is just me finishing up with the last little bit. Overall, everything went smooth. I did have one little wire that wasn't completely connected that I did have to sort out later.